Welcome, folks. This is where we left off last time, where Kitty was getting ready to get hit with the exhaust port, and now we're going to see the defeat of this boss. So last time I was kind of in dismay a little bit because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to beat this boss, but it turns out it just took a little bit more practice, and eventually we get to it. So there is some repetition in this episode. A good chunk of this episode is going to be just this boss, but I do eventually tackle him and get it taken care of. So, but we will kind of get, well, no, we won't get to World 5 in this episode. It's really just this boss. I mean, maybe, yeah. There's some other stuff in this episode, but I just kind of am trying to figure out what's going to happen across the next 14 minutes, because I know that there's at least a little bit more than that. This kind of happens to be a thing, but... So, I'm proud. I'm glad that I'm able to do this. I think that that's like the only thing I really have some sort of fret about, but I am going to have to study up on this game a little bit just to make sure there's no like special items we have to get, because if it's anything like, you know, Zelda for the Super Nintendo, not getting all the items can kind of botch you. I mean, I know it's one thing to not get 100%, you're not going to be able to see the Lost World, but that's kind of what I did with Donkey Kong Country 2, is I showed as much that I could without having to go all out with it, but it's just kind of, I mean, I want to say I got like 70-something% when I finally beat that game, but right now I'm only at 35%, so we're just about a third of the way done with the game, a little bit more than a third, but, because yeah, this game goes to 103% if you didn't know. Donkey Kong 2 went to 102%, Donkey Kong 1 went to 101%. But and the thing about it is if you are up in the air and he goes back to burning his exhaust and you happen to conk him on the head while he's up there, it will count as a hit. So I wasn't sure. I thought you only had a limited time, but you do get a little bit of action if you're actually in the air or something. I mean, you'll see that I kind of do that here in a little bit, but is kind of the situation about it. But this is kind of a pain in the ass boss. I mean, I'm wondering how much this pissed me off 25 years ago, you know. It was, I must have just kept playing this like like a normal 7-8-year-old child does, but I just kind of feel like it's just kind of, I really don't like this boss. I was kind of getting grumbly about it too. I was just like, what the hell is this dude? The fourth boss in the damn game is giving me this much trouble. I mean, none of the bosses in Donkey Kong Country 2 gave me trouble like that, or the first game. I mean, this is really like a passive aggressive, like I've described this in the descriptions of some of my YouTube video boxes, but this is really like a passive aggressive game. It's kind of like, hey, this is kind of grit your teeth kind of angry type stuff, you know. But luckily for y'all, you get to just sit back with a bucket of KFC and some buttery biscuits and macaroni and cheese and mashed potatoes and stuff like that, and just kind of call it easy. That's like the main thing. Just leave it to acid roots, folks. For the most part. I'm not going to say I can do that with every single game. I mean, I'm trying to see, I mean, I suppose I could eventually do more of like, I suppose I could eventually do more of Uniracers too. I need to kind of wrap that game up, despite the fact that I'm not going to be able to beat that game either. But, at least there's like some hearty stuff on this channel. That's really what I'm proud of, is just how much content. I mean, I've done over 300, probably over 350 videos now. I'm not totally for certain, but I definitely want to say that there's been quite a few. So yeah, this is I don't actually get this boss in this particular gameplay segment, but after the next minute, we'll get to the segment where I do beat him. So I just had one more hit, and it was just kind of, I could feel like the pressure was on. But I thought I could just float past this. You can get shot in the air. Don't try to use, as you saw here with Dixie trying to use her helicopter spin. It doesn't save you. I thought it was only something that attacked you when it was on the ground, but the lasers can hit you. You have to outrun them. And there's just not a lot of room in the stage, so they do that on purpose. It's kind of biased. I feel like there's just kind of a bias towards this boss just because it doesn't really give you a lot of room to avoid. I mean, they do that with all the boss characters in this, but I just feel like, when you really have a limited space, the boss is just way too large. Its hitbox is way too large for such a cramped stage. It's just really overtly kind of cramped. He has too large of a... I mean, you have too large of a hitbox and he takes up too much of the screen. He takes up at least like a third of the screen. It only gives you the left, right, or the middle to get away from him. So it's just not a lot of room to maneuver. I'm trying to keep Dixie Kong up front. I mean, I think that that's kind of the concept of what needs to happen, but... yeah, sometimes you can hit his jaw and not really get what you need. Oh. Electrocuted him, I saw that. But yep, it was just a mild December day. My computer's telling me that it's 28 degrees outside, 28 degrees Fahrenheit if you're not in the United States, which is pretty damn cold. That's below freezing temperatures. So, it's a real gigantic pain in the arse. I do like winter and fall, but I just kind of feel like, this is a little bit more frosty than I was expecting this year. We really didn't even get in autumn. See, there it was. He started floating back up, and I still managed to hit him despite the fact that he wasn't in the mode where you can attack him. Yeah, this whole episode's just been this damn boss, man. This is kind of the thing. I mean, just strap yourself in. If you're at a gas station, something like that, waiting for supplies, that sort of stuff, I understand. This is kind of like, hey, it's gonna start being pretty slick. That's something that I feel like when I used to see Let's Players and they would say that they watched this. Like, there used to be like some Nintendo Capri Sun videos that I would watch in November, like his Banjo-Kazooie playthrough or something like that. That'd be an annual November watch, and that's the kind of stuff. Those are the kind of comments that I want. Those are definitely the ones people say running up on you or commenting on you saying, hey, I watch this every Halloween, or I watch this every day in mid-April of the year. I watch this video. I don't care what time of the year you watch it. Like, if this Donkey Kong Country 3 playthrough strikes you as like a February thing, then watch it in February. Absolutely fine. Which really happens to be the thing. But yeah, and keep in mind you will have to fight this boss character again. That's kind of the situation. Kind of gets its Terminator on. You can kind of tell he looks somewhat like a Terminator. I would like to see some nice artwork for this character. I mean, it's just like they really did a pretty solitary job with that. The artwork design of Chaos. Yep, now there's nothing left to do but lollygag for the next 5 minutes because I basically have to save, and I get a couple of the banana birds too, but they only make your percentile go up 1%. I'm just trying to figure out. First thing I was going to do is save so I don't have to do that crap again. Did not want to have to fight that boss more times than I had to. Yeah. That's definitely something. You just get into the habit of saving when you get into games like this, especially for like the Super Nintendo and old school ones. It just, I probably shouldn't have to give that reminder, but just in case, it's one of those situations where It's pretty humiliating to actually complete something that gives you difficulty and then have to do it again and not be able to beat it the second or third time or whatever because you forgot to save. I mean, this is just tired tropes me talking about that, but just to kind of say it's like, yeah, we are going to get a new vehicle here, so we're going to visit Funky Kong here in a little bit, but first, Banana Bird. Some of these are going to start getting a little bit trickier. But we also have to start talking to the bear characters. I don't know how much I'm going to do that, but it kind of depends. So I want to say that there's like 15 of these birds in the game. I managed to get at least 4 of them. So it's just kind of, yeah. But yeah, there were really no stages in this episode. This was very much just a tying up loose ends kind of episode and such. A lot of saving. I know it's kind of not the most interesting format to just go to a save point a bunch of times. I just want to get the progress in the game so I can up the percentiles. You know, I've completed 4 worlds and I'm only at 30%. Not even as of this episode, not even a third of the way done with the game. But this game really kind of tries my patience. I'm not going to lie. I mean, for folks watching this and you've seen my earlier episodes, I mean, I don't remember them as much because it's been months. In some cases, I've only done 1 episode a month, if that. But the way it pissed me off back in September and August, I was just kind of like, damn, you know, this is probably like the most vindictive of like the 3 games in the series. Like at least Donkey Kong Country 2's difficulty was gradual, and the first one was just introducing it, so it was never really that tough beyond like the Poison Pond stage, and then like the one of the stages in World 4. There's like one stage where the snow gets like blinding. I mean, you really have to have like some eagle vision to be able to get through that stage. I mean, it is doable, but it just takes, I mean, that's like for hardcore gamers to be able to do that. I mean, they were smart to allow you to skip that segment because they probably figured that a lot of people wouldn't be able to do it, but I was just like, fuck that. I don't even care to try. I want to say I did it at least once in one of these playthroughs I did of Donkey Kong Country. I've beaten that game at least 3 times across my YouTube channels. Because I did it in 2017 on Acidic Roots, and I did it in 2020 on this channel, and then I tried it in like 2015 somewhere. I want to say I actually beat the game, but I removed those videos. So... But alright, so yeah, in order to unlock World 8, you have to go clockwise around these 4 rocks, which you'll see in a few moments. But, I mean, really, even unlocking World 8 is kind of pointless just because you need the B coins. So, and of course, the key to that is messing with these bears. I mean, you have to get the bonus stages. I might be able to at least do 1 or 2 of the Lost World stages like I did with Donkey Kong Country 2, but it's just not going to be all of them. I want to say that there's at least 6 or so stages in the secret world, but... Yep, so there you have it. Yeah, you get some slowdown there. It's pretty dope. I like that little piratey noise there. It's interesting. I thought... So yeah, you have to press the Y button. That's how you get up the waterfalls. That is the vehicle that can do it, but that's how you do it. So, alright, so subscribe for more fun. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful night. And in the next episode, we'll get to World 5 and do some more extra stuff.